Well, we'll certainly be seeing a lot more of these types of videos as the Assassin's Creed series continues down its downward spiral. I want to make this clear, so I'll be saying it at the top of both of the DLC videos. Battle of Forli and Bonfire of the Vanities both have one of the stupidest explanations for how this DLC fits into the universe of the franchise as a justification for charging extra for it. The reason is that these two memory sections have miraculously become corrupted by Rebecca's experimental animus, and if you pay to unlock the DLC, the memory sections suddenly become uncorrupted and you can get the content. The file sizes for these packs were robust for a 360 game, 700 megabytes and a gigabyte, so I'm not gonna call it on-disc DLC, but it's still pretty shitty for Ubisoft to be charging for content that it just happened to rip out of the middle of the game for no reason other than dollars, of which there wasn't much since both packs cost $4 at the time of publishing. With the disclaimer of garbage practices out of the way, let's talk about the Battle of Forli. That stronghold that was in the middle of shitbergs and swamps and headed by Signore Sexy Times. After Ezio reclaims the Apple of Eden from the Templars and failed to kill Rodrigo Borgia, when he had the chance, Ezio returned to Forli at the perfect time for Caterina's timetable, since Forli suddenly becomes occupied by a mercenary force headed by the Orsi brothers, a pair of mercenaries hired by Caterina to kill her early husband and father, who she apparently hated just enough to have 6 children birthed by him. Just goes to show that governments should never hire third-party mercs. Just don't do it. If you do it, then their marketable skill becomes, I know all the weak points of this place. Pay me $1,000 to blow it up. Let's just say the DLC doesn't start off on a good foot. The first 3 parts of the mission are escort quests so Ezio can protect Caterina from attackers, a thing she can do pretty damn well on her own due to her blade skills and army equaling the size of Forli. The huge number of friendly and hostile combatants does make this DLC pack feel more like a full-fledged battle rather than just a bunch of gang murders. However, having almost half of your DLC focusing around killing a bunch of random people until there's no more bunch of random people left is not that fun. After the occupation is ousted, the Orsi brothers appear to try and bargain for the Codex page map and the Apple of Eden by threatening her kids' lives, and after one of the most hollow threats I've heard in a video game...
Bastardi! You think you can threaten me? I'll give you nothing! You want my children? Take them! I have the instrument to make more!
Ezio is hired to bring back her kids, which he has to do under a time limit. Again, it's kind of boring, and it doesn't help that Caterina's kids are kind of ugly, and the Wikipedia entry on Ottavio, or whatever the hell his name was told of a meek, brittle man being toyed around by the Templars and he died in obscurity. I mean, it's definitely better than the joke character who died after getting drunk and falling off a boat, but that's not really a bar you can actually be under. After that, the battle is pretty much over. It certainly didn't feel like a city-spanning life or death situation, and more of an employer-employee spats dealt with in 20 minutes. All the good guys are fine, and the only thing left is to chase the living Orsi brother for the Apple of Eden. The assassination of Checo is pretty damn bad since it's a chase. One the game suggests taking on horseback, and that's a death sentence. If it's possible, don't get on the fucking horse. I killed Checo by accident after he fell down, not a pretty sight for Captain Numbskull. What's worse is that he wasn't able to stop Checo stabbing him and allowing a mystery monk to capture the Apple of Eden, because apparently the DLC for this game was so flimsy that they had to pull out a Deus Ex Machina to have it make sense. And that's the end of the DLC. Occupation, goon murdering, some tactical countryside action, and a bad boss fight. The DLC ends on Caterina saying goodbye to Ezio after he's healed from the stabbing and gives him the map of the Codex pages to help him complete the prophecy. He leaves Forli forever. Was the Battle of Forli worth $4? Maybe. I don't know how they could have charged lower for it. When you start hemming and hawing about price differences of $1.50, it really does feel like nitpicking. Maybe the better question is, should have the game stayed as a part of the full package? Definitely. This is something that wasn't being developed after the fact, considering the hoops that Ubisoft had to go through just to have the main game make narrative sense without this content in it. I bet the problem with why this DLC feels so average is that Forli and Katarina are kind of shitty places and people. Forli is a shitty looking place that no one wants to rescue, and Katarina, while being sexy as a goddess, is definitely someone hauling around so much baggage that not even suave to the max assassin Ezio should try to get with her even though she's nearly begging for it. The Orsi brothers are also not good villains. They have no brains and they have no strength. Basic dickheads who dick only for the joy of dickheading things. Is not one of the brightest moments of Assassin's Creed 2, and I'd recommend picking up a definitive version for the content and not buying it as a separate cost. It's an average Assassin's Creed mission. Nothing better, nothing worse.